You are watching NOPCOMMERCE Easy Setup with Coach.Fm using NOP Studio. I am David, and on this step, we're going to finish up our NOPCOMMERCE setup. If you haven't yet, check us out on Twitter and Facebook, www.coach.fm. Sorry, there's no dot before FM on the Twitter side. On Facebook, go find us at www.coach.fm. All right, so we just finished launching. We have a success, and the next step is we are going to break out the database and get the site up and running. I'm going to go a little bit slower than I usually do. I'm going to talk a little bit slower than I usually do because at this step, people are like, oh, it's not working. Hold on, stop. So we're going to take it a little bit slower. Okay, the URL, super simple. Side note, NOPCOMMERCE, it fails a lot when I do it. But I'm cool with that because the support team, they're great. When you get stuck, just pay a little bit of money. They're right there for you. If you don't want to talk to them, you can talk to me. So that's just the way software is. Things change, and when things change, things break. And we just got to be patient and let it do its thing. The first time this thing loads up, it's going to be a little bit slow. That's normal. I want you to get a real feel for what this is like. If you're watching this for the first time and you're not following along on your computer, you can get a good feel for what it's like, a real good start to finish. How much time is it going to take? Okay, so let's set up your administrator email. I'm going to use donate@coach.fm. And if you like what we do and you appreciate the time that I'm spending on this stuff, send me a few dollars on PayPal, help us keep the lights on. Admin user password, something long and complex as usual. Let's go ahead and create some sample data. All right, use SQL Server. I'm not going to create the database because in the previous video, we just created one. Now, I'm going to paste the connection string directly. I've had trouble with using the enter connection string values. So, but I noticed it's most of the time, it's smoother if I just paste in the connection string. Now, you need to be careful with these next few steps. If something goes wrong and it's not working, send me a tweet, send me a message, I'll help you out. Okay, I'm going to find my connection string. In application settings, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn always on. So when I open the website up, it'll open fairly quickly. And over here on the connection string area under the application settings, it's towards the bottom. Let's go ahead and click in there. Control All, Control Copy. Click back in some white space so it can close back up. Let's go over to the NOPCOMMERCE instance and let's go ahead and paste that value. and let's install. It could possibly throw an error right now. Um, 3 times out of 10, it's going to throw some strange error. And that's cool. We'll get used to that. We have to be ready for error. We have to be robust. And we have to be patient. Because if we can do that, we're going to be able to enjoy the benefits of having total control. It's okay. I mean, Shopify, it's a great application, but they put a lot of energy in making sure that everything's okay, and that has a downside to it is that you don't have that much control of the situation. You can't have that much configuration. And it's okay if you're just starting out, but if you're getting ready to scale up and scale out, you've got to be ready for when it doesn't work. We've got to be ready for if it just randomly throws them like, oh my goodness, what the heck is this? That's cool. You got people like me. You got websites like Stack Overflow and the folks over at NOPCOMMERCE for very not so much money at all. They can help you too. All right, I'm gonna just take this nice and slow and wait for this to install so you guys can get a good feel for how long it really takes for this thing to blow through. And this is not rehearsed. If it throws an error, I'll show you guys what I do to take care of it. If you guys have anything less than an S3, this could take a while. This is why I use an S3. Um, if some of you really like to play and get deep and get your hands dirty, like if you opened up an instance of Visual Studio and you're launching from code and you put a bunch of plugins first, it's going to take even longer. It might take up 2 or 3 hours depending on how many plugins and themes you got going. To get things going fairly quickly, I have 0 plugins right now and uh, 0 themes. And this is approximately how long it's going to take using an S3 and using the basic uh, $30 a month tier um, service plan. This is a normal wait. It's a normal launch. Side note, sometimes you'll get a timeout error here and you'll think, oh, it's like magic. Interesting, right? It's still moving. It's still going. Don't fret. Stay calm. The database is still building out. What happened was the server has a period of time that it'll wait for a response, but the database is still running. And the period that the server was waiting passed, but the database is still running. It didn't stop running. The database is still running the tables, it's still breaking things out. So don't let this screen here scare you. It's still running. And we'll see this quite a bit. Like if we're loading up 10,000 products and we get to like 1,300 and then all of a sudden we get this timeout error. That's okay. No problem. All we got to do is just check the status of the database, which I will show you. We'll walk through it. and we'll just get to it. Okay, I'm going to give this about 5 more seconds, and then I'm going to see. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this totally normal. I mean, a good setup takes a good half day. Good half day. All right, I'm going to just copy this area right here. Copy. I'm going to go over here and just paste it like that, and I'm going to see how far it's gotten. Now, before I do this, there are two results that could happen. One, it's going to route me back to the install page, which means that the install failed, and that's okay. I'll just delete the database and do it again. The other thing is it's going to load the home page of the website. Either way, we're prepared for it. So let's go and see what it does. This long of a load usually means the database is still running and it worked. Or it would really quickly just route me back to the install page. Okay, we got the landing page. This is great. And we got the demo data going too. Good. So I'm going to just log right in and use my donate at Coach.Fm. And if you like what we do, PayPal me $1. Say what's up. Contrary to popular belief, that what I'm doing right here doesn't make much money at all. But I love you guys like family, and I really hope that we can all scale up and scale out together. So, anyways, my big long password. Focusing on the e-commerce part, it's great, but when you stop and you share and you teach, it's resource intensive. You can burn through a lot of cash trying to help people out, but it's really rewarding. So that's kind of why I'm doing it. I'd rather have a lot of friends and be okay than to be really rich and alone. So I'm going to go to my administration area, and everything is up and running. This is so cool. And we can finally start to play with Nop Studio. When you first launch this thing up, it's got to break out its cache, it's got to break down some tables. So the first few days of using NOPCOMMERCE, it's going to be a little bit slow, but it'll speed up along the way. This is NOPCOMMERCE 4.0, and moving to ASP.NET Core has a lot of really cool stuff. So if you know nothing about .NET Core and all that crazy business, just know it's really fast. So it's cool. All right, so let's look around and see what we got. All right, I'm going to take this tutorial video to about right now, and then we'll follow up on the next step in NOP Studio.